having a go at this one? He did, but had a bit of safety in mind also.
Yeah, that's okay. It's the miss on the other side of the pocket you don't want. That slows the cue ball down, and he would have left the other long red. Could end up somewhere near the green. It's just running loose. That's a much further than he intended. Don't think he's left the long red. Matt just coming around to have a look what's going to happen to this cluster of reds when he hits it. He's worried about the two reds above the black that are a plant towards the corner pocket. Doesn't want to nudge them.
Not quite, just another inch or two to the left and he'd have blocked off this escape route, but thing can get back down off the left side of the reds as we look at it. And that's a terrific return. Played to perfection there. Look at the pace on that.
Just having a look to see if he can get through to the red to the right of the black. I think he might have had a little go at it if he could get through, but he can't. This is all about who's going to make the first mistake, or who's going to be the aggressor. Matt's got an opportunity here. He could play a very, very attacking safety shot on the reds underneath the pink. Spread the reds far and wide and try and get a good cue ball. Or he can play around with the red that's up nearest to the cue ball as it is. Try and keep the game a bit tighter. Don't blame him for doing that. I can think of plenty of players who would have played either shot. Choices again. You can either play the red on the cluster or you can play the loose red and put it back in the pack. He's playing the loose one.
Well, he knew straight away he'd hit that far too thick, but I think he's okay. He's got away with that. But his reaction with the cue as soon as he played the shot told us that he'd hit it far too thick.
As we enter frame 11, I think the safety play has been pretty good in this match so far. We've got Ding sitting at 83% safety success, Matt on 77%. I think for 10 frames of snooker, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, we had a couple of the long frames. Frame 4 lasted 51 minutes, frame 6 44 minutes, but there was some great tactical play, as you said, Sean. But at the moment it's like watching a game of chess with balls to see who's going to make the first mistake.
And that little flick off the green has just helped Ding somewhat there. A fuller kiss would have led Matt a long red. And if he'd have missed the green altogether, the white would have been on and off the cushion, so a little bit fortunate with that kiss. Just trying to play the containing safety shot. Don't think he's done any damage. It's a nice shot. Real nice pace. Those type of shots, you know you're going to leave your opponent options, but you can really work hard and get a good cue ball. It makes the next shot much more difficult. Matt doesn't have millions of options here. You can play the dump shot on the red on the extreme left hand side, knock it up and down the table and leave the white on the back cushion.
Wow.
What a shot.
I mean, I suppose he was playing with a little bit of safety in mind, but he hadn't an easy safety shot, and what a cracker of a putt that is. Okay, it may only get him 1 point, but it'll certainly give him a confidence boost knocking that one in.
I'll tell you what, Dennis, I don't immediately see how he's going to get safe from here either. I'm not sure how he gets out of there. Can't see a baulk colour. I know he can play the cue ball back to this end of the table. That's not easy. He doesn't know where the balls are going to go, you see. He's worried about where the black's going to go if he plays the safety shot. This is the problem. If you start hitting, you start moving a lot of balls around the table, you don't know where they're going.
Oh, and look where the black's gone. Pink's
Thank you,
tied
Selt.
up, the black up the other end of the table. There's been some very quick frames in this match, but as I mentioned, there was a couple of long frames. With the black up there, it's made this quite awkward.
You've been known to have the odd long deciding frame that involved a black ball that going messy, haven't you?
Not allowed to mention that, Sean. You'll start John Parrott off.
Just coming round to have a look if the right at the bottom of the pack is available. Not sure whether it is or not, but I think that's the red he's playing. Trying to get the cue ball back somewhere near where it is now. Oh no, he's played it thicker. Trying to get in the centre of the baulk cushion. This looks good. And if the black were on the spot, I think we'd see Ding play this red to the left pocket. I think we'd see him play it slow enough to be on the black, but obviously with the black not being there, there wouldn't be loads of value going for this red. It could only go wrong. He may still go for it, but it's risky. the up and down. Waiting. Happy to wait. And usually when we start to see reds going up into baulk, it's a bit of a problem, but that red being covered by the yellow means that neither player are really bothered about going up there. They can go up there pretty carefree. They can't really leave that red, so that's not an issue. He's just coming up there to check, is there any way he can leave the cue ball that leaves the red near the yellow, but I don't think there is. Wasn't a great deal he could do there. Ding could have him in trouble here though. He play a thin cut off the red in the middle of the table. And the white should track back up to where it is now.
Very well played. Couldn't have judged that much better.
He does have a similar shot mat available, the red in the middle of the table. If he gets the correct contact, he'll go through the gap between the pink and the main body of reds, and the cue ball will track back to ball. But he's got to get the right contact.
Doesn't want to hit this red. Oh, he's just about okay. Could quite easily have left the red for the middle pocket once he went towards it there. He's pushed the red over the corner. The only problem here is if he cuts this red in, the white's heading towards the bunch of reds. So Ding Junhui, as he sits down, knows he's left the red, but he knows that it's not going to be easy to get good position here. So keep your eye on the cue ball here. Oh, can you believe it? How can you hit that too thin? Amazing. I thought he might have played it with a bit of pace. He was trying to play it thin so that he didn't go into the bunch of reds, but it was one of those situations where maybe he just potted, go into the reds and hope you finish on pink or blue. So the first chance falls to Ding Junhui, and he's perfectly on the blue. He's got a couple of reds available. He doesn't have to cannon into them. He can please himself now. So he's got that chance that we keep saying you want in a deciding frame. It's not bad. He's still got the one to the right middle. And with the reds open as they are, doesn't matter about the black being out of commission. This is a decent chance. No. No, can you believe it? He was hampered slightly. He was a bit concerned with the queuing between the reds. You can see there he was just distracted a little bit. Wow. Matt Selt can't believe that he's back at the table so quickly. Well, this is Matt's chance. Ding hasn't taken his.
One.
And if this were practice, if this was Matt and I having a practice set in the club, this would be frame over, but this isn't practice. This is to get in the third round of the second biggest tournament in our sport. This is what all those hours of practice are for. When you get these opportunities, what have you got in the
6.
locker?
Seven.
That's okay. He's got the angle on the blue. Yeah, it's just a matter of giving yourself that little extra second or two just to make sure. Don't rush into things.
It's just such a fine line, isn't it, between trying to play with a good rhythm and not second guessing yourself, but then also
12.
you can rush and make a mistake.
$13.
The pink goes, that's okay. Just trying to see where his next red's coming from. He's obviously got the one nearest the corner pocket. The one to the right of the black spot pots as well, but you'd have to be pretty low on it to access it.
Well, that was a very positive shot. He had to play with lots of side there. In fact, he got a bit too much on
19.
it, and it's finished slightly awkward. He's having to bridge over those reds. Doesn't have much to do with the cue ball, but watch the white as it comes off the cushion. He had side. He wanted to hit that red full ball. As I say, it's very little to do
20.
with it, and the chance is still there for Matt Selt. Okay, it's getting a bit more difficult now. Just a couple of reds that's available to him. And just overscrewed that slightly.
26.
That makes it a little awkward now. That's nicely played. He's developed another
27.
red. And creeping ahead, now 22 in front. And there's a few more there for him.
Just got to work out how he gets on the next ball. The red to the left of the pink, pots in the right centre pocket.
Ding Junhui sits there and hopes that somehow Matt Selt can slip up here.
$32.
Yeah, not the best positional shot that Matt's ever played there. Unlucky, very unlucky.
Matthew Selt.
That would have looked so
32.
good from his perspective as well. That would have looked in all the way. It was very, very close. The minute it gets past the green, he thinks it's in. And I've seen those go in before, I have to say. Didn't want the cannon on the pink. He was playing that red specifically because he didn't want to open the reds underneath the pink.
Well, he's forced the hand of Ding Jianwei here. There's a couple of reds he can go for.
That's a good shot.
One.
Played it confidently, played for a colour, played for the blue. No thought of safety. So this frame's going to come down to all about those balls that are tied up. The two reds, the red next to the yellow, the red on the back cushion and the red on the side cushion.
Seven.
Just having the cue ball cleaned. I don't think he got a kick there. He just spotted something on the white maybe. Yeah, this gets this red out of the way, which helps the two reds because they're available into the left corner, and
12.
once this is removed, there's nothing in the way of getting on those two. But he hasn't
15.
played this very well. He should have been on that pink for the middle pocket, straight on it, and then he just knocks the pink in and leaves the two reds. But he's played it poorly. Those two reds, I don't think they're a plant, but he's missed a trick there, has Ding Jianwei. Yeah, they're not a plant, as you can see. He's looking to see if he could possibly hit it thin enough to make them into a plant. And maybe he's trying that, but he's got to hit the first red very thin. No.
Well, that was risky, wasn't it? Once the white's running loose like that, could have gone anywhere. I thought for a minute it was going to hit the red next to the yellow. Just went past it. Just catching that red a little bit thick. He played the red into the red on the cushion and stop it. Wanted the white up there behind the green, so I don't think he's done a great deal of damage. Matt just having a look to see if this red passes the red on the side cushion. It did, but he's choosing against. And that's a good shot. Isn't it funny where the ball's finished? I think that's finished in a position where obviously you're cueing over the green, so you can't really put much backspin on this ball. When if he plays the red in the middle of the table, he'll do well to avoid either of these two reds on the cushion. He just caught it a bit thin. I think he got a bit of side spin on the cue ball by accident. Just pulled the cue ball thin, and he's brought the other red off the cushion. Now, Ding could even try and bring the other red off the cushion here.
One.
Yeah, this red's available into the middle pocket, so that's the only possible
6.
pocket that was available for this red.
Seven.
He's not perfect on the blue by any means. Needed another 3 or 4 inches up the table. It's a thinner one than he was hoping for. That's the problem when you run out of position.
12.
It escalates. Nicely played.
13.
With the pink over the pocket, all he had to do was just roll this along the cushion.
$19.
Got himself into the lead, 5 points, but still a lot of play left in this deciding frame.
Two good positional shots here, though. It could really pay dividends. High on the pink, leads to the red on the side
20.
cushion. The closer he can get to this red, the easier he makes it. Really picked it up with his hand and put it anywhere better than that. That was a really well played shot.
Well, can you believe it? He hangs his
26.
head. Seemed to hit it a little bit harder than he needed to. He wanted to get good position so they could get to the yellow. Wow. Matt Selt in the background there. Couldn't believe that. Oh, look where he's left the cue ball.
1.
Look where he's left the cue ball, in between the blue and pink. He overscrewed that, or underscrewed it. He played for the pink, possibly screwed back for the blue. Now he's going to have to take a very difficult green. Wow, what a shot he's faced with here. No. No. It was the one with the rest where he didn't get on the pink or the blue, and that missed green was just all down to pure pressure. Is that Matt Selt's last shot in this year's Betway UK Championship?
All about pace. And again, it looks as if he's played that perfectly. Known for his trademark cue ball control, it looks as if he saved his best shots of the match till last.
Yeah, and you'd have to say calling on his experience, really. He's twice a winner of this great title.
9.
But Matt Selt will be very disappointed. He had a chance to pull off a famous victory here, and he's let it slip.
14.
And it'll be a very relieved Ding Junhui. Every credit to the Chinese player, and a little fist pump there, and you can understand why. He was 4-2 down and looked as if he was going out at one stage. Matt Selt had the chance, didn't just grasp it, and Ding Junhui takes the match in the deciding frame and wins 6 frames to 5.